I'll have my legal team contact you. If what you have is legitimate, we'll talk. But Chelsea, if you're playing both sides, you'll regret it.
The text came at 11:47 p.m. Naomi was in her downtown office, reviewing acquisition proposals for a housing development in Seattle, when her phone lit up. Unknown number. We need to meet. Tomorrow. It's about Marcus. She stared at the message for a long moment. Then she blocked the number and went back to work. The next day her assistant knocked on the door. "Miss Carter, there's someone here to see you. She says it's urgent." Naomi looked up. "Who?" "Chelsea Morrison." The name hung in the air. Naomi's expression didn't change. She saved her document, closed her laptop and leaned back in her chair. "Send her in." The woman who walked through the door looked nothing like the one from the engagement photos. Chelsea's hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. No makeup. Dark circles under her eyes. She was wearing jeans and a sweater that had seen better days. She stopped 3 feet from Naomi's desk. "Thank you for seeing me." Naomi didn't offer her a seat. "You have 2 minutes." Chelsea swallowed. "Marcus is gone." "Gone where?" "I don't know. He left 4 days ago. Took his car, his laptop and emptied our joint account. I haven't heard from him since." Naomi studied her carefully. There was no satisfaction in Chelsea's panic. Just exhaustion. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I think he's planning something. And I think it involves you." Naomi's gaze sharpened. "What kind of something?" Chelsea hesitated. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out a folded piece of paper. She placed it on the desk. It was a photocopy of a legal document. A lawsuit filing. Marcus Hale versus Naomi Carter. Fraud, undue influence and misrepresentation of assets. Naomi picked it up and scanned the first page. Marcus was claiming that she had hidden her wealth during their marriage, that she had manipulated the divorce settlement, and that he was entitled to half of her inherited estate. The filing was dated 2 days ago. "He's suing me," Naomi said quietly. "He's desperate," Chelsea corrected. "And he's not doing this alone." Welcome back to part 2 of Naomi's story. If you missed part 1, check the link in the description, you'll want the full context. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because this story is about to get even more intense. Now let's dive in. Chelsea sat down without being invited. Marcus has been meeting with someone, a lawyer named Victor Brennan. He specializes in high-stakes divorces and estate disputes. He's also known for being aggressive. How aggressive? The kind that files motions to freeze assets, subpoena financial records, and drag things out for years. Marcus thinks if he can tie you up in court long enough, you'll settle just to make it go away. Naomi set the document down. "And you're telling me this because?" Chelsea looked at her hands. "Because I was wrong. About everything. And because Marcus didn't just leave me. He emptied accounts I didn't even know we had. He used my name on loans I never signed for. When everything collapsed, I thought we'd figure it out together. But he wasn't trying to fix anything. He was preparing an exit strategy." She looked up. "And I was the liability." Naomi leaned forward slightly. "Why didn't you go to the police?" "Because half those loans have my signature on them. Forged or not, I can't prove it. And Victor Brennan made it very clear that if I cooperate with you, Marcus will make sure I go down too." Naomi was silent for a moment. "What do you want from me, Chelsea?" "I want to help. I know you have no reason to trust me, but I have access to things Marcus doesn't know I kept. Emails, financial records, recordings of meetings he had with Brennan." "Why would you record him?" Chelsea's smile was bitter. "Because by the end I didn't trust him either." Naomi studied her. This woman had betrayed her, humiliated her, and celebrated her downfall. And now she was sitting across from her, offering ammunition. Could be a trap. Or it could be useful. "I'll have my legal team contact you," Naomi said finally. "If what you have is legitimate, we'll talk. But Chelsea, if you're playing both sides, you'll regret it." Chelsea nodded. "I know." She stood up and walked to the door. Then she paused. "For what it's worth, Naomi, I really am sorry." Naomi didn't respond. Chelsea left. Alone again, Naomi picked up the lawsuit and read it more carefully. The claims were absurd, legally baseless and factually inaccurate. But that wasn't the point. The point was noise, distraction, public spectacle. She picked up her phone and called Jonathan Whitmore. He answered immediately. "Miss Carter, I need you to prepare a defense. Marcus is suing me for half the estate." There was a pause, then a dry chuckle. "Of course he is." The lawsuit hit the news within 48 hours. Ex-husband of billionaire heiress claims he was deceived during marriage. The headlines were everywhere. Morning talk shows debated it. Legal analysts speculated. Social media exploded. Some people sided with Marcus. "She hid her wealth from him, that's fraud." Others defended Naomi. "She didn't even know about the inheritance until after the divorce." But the loudest voices were the ones that didn't care about facts. They just wanted drama. Naomi watched it unfold from her office, saying nothing. Rachel called that afternoon. "Have you seen the news?" "Yes." "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." "Naomi, they're dragging your name through the mud." "Let them." "What?" "Rachel, Marcus wants a reaction. He wants me angry, defensive, scrambling. If I engage, I give him what he wants. So I'm not going to engage." "Then what are you going to do?" Naomi's voice was calm. "I'm going to let him hang himself." 3 days later, Victor Brennan held a press conference. He stood outside the courthouse, flanked by Marcus, who wore a tailored suit and an expression of wounded righteousness. "My client was married to Miss Carter for 8 years, Brennan began. During that time, he supported her emotionally, financially, and professionally. He believed they were partners. But the moment she inherited a fortune, she cut him out completely. She hid assets. She manipulated legal proceedings. And she left him with nothing." A reporter raised a hand. "But didn't Mr. Hale file for divorce before the inheritance?" Brennan didn't miss a beat. "That's a matter of timing and legal interpretation. What's clear is that Miss Carter had knowledge of this inheritance and chose not to disclose it. That's fraud." Marcus stepped forward. "I just want what's fair. I'm not asking for everything. Just what I'm owed." The cameras flashed. Naomi watched the press conference from her office with Jonathan Whitmore beside her. "He's good," Jonathan said. "Brennan, I mean. He's spinning this well." "He's also lying," Naomi replied. "Correct. But lies told confidently are often more persuasive than complicated truths." Naomi turned off the monitor. "Then we'll keep it simple. What's the plan?" She smiled faintly. "Patience." What do you think Naomi's next move should be? Drop your predictions in the comments. We love seeing your theories. 1 week later, Chelsea's evidence arrived. It was delivered in a secure digital file. Hours of audio recordings, scanned documents, and time-stamped emails. Naomi's legal team spent 2 days analyzing it. Then Jonathan called. "Miss Carter, you need to hear this." He played a recording. It was Marcus and Victor Brennan recorded 6 weeks earlier, before Marcus had even left Chelsea. Marcus's voice. "I don't care if the case has merit. I just need it to be loud. Public. Expensive for her." Brennan. "Understood. We'll file for fraud and emotional distress. It won't win, but it'll cost her millions in legal fees and tie her up for at least 2 years. Marcus. "Perfect. And if she tries to settle?" Brennan. "We ask for the maximum. Half the estate plus damages. She'll laugh at first. But once the press gets involved, once her reputation starts taking hits, she'll negotiate." Marcus laughed. "I knew divorcing her was the right move. She was dead weight. But this is the real payday." The recording ended. Naomi sat in silence. Jonathan spoke carefully. "This is evidence of fraud and bad faith litigation. If we present this to the judge, the case will be dismissed immediately. Marcus could face sanctions, possibly even criminal charges." "Good," Naomi said. "But I want to do this right." Meaning I don't want to just win in court. I want him to understand exactly what he lost." The hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. Marcus showed up in another expensive suit, flanked by Brennan and a PR consultant. He smiled for the cameras and shook hands with supporters who'd gathered outside the courthouse. Inside, Naomi sat at the plaintiff's table with Jonathan and 2 other attorneys. She wore a simple navy suit. No jewelry. No theatrics. The judge entered and the room fell silent. Brennan stood first. Your Honor, my client has been. Sit down, Mr. Brennan, the judge interrupted. Brennan blinked. Excuse me. I said sit down. I've reviewed the preliminary filings, and I have questions before we proceed. The judge looked at Naomi's legal team. Miss Carter, I understand you have evidence you'd like to present? Jonathan stood. Yes, Your Honor. We have audio recordings that demonstrate Mr. Hale's lawsuit was filed in bad faith, with the explicit intent to defraud the court and extort the defendant. The judge's expression darkened. Play it. For the next 6 minutes, the courtroom listened to Marcus and Brennan's recorded conversation. Marcus's face went pale. Brennan looked at his notes, then at the door, calculating whether he could leave. When the recording ended, the judge leaned forward. Mr. Hale, do you have anything to say? Marcus opened his mouth, closed it, then looked at Brennan. Brennan stood slowly. Your Honor, we were not aware this recording existed, and we question its authenticity. It's been authenticated by 3 independent forensic analysts, Jonathan said calmly. We have their reports here. The judge nodded. Mr. Brennan, I'm dismissing this case with prejudice. Furthermore, I'm referring you to the State Bar for disciplinary review. And Mr. Hale, you'll be responsible for all of Ms. Carter's legal fees, which I'm told exceed $400,000. Marcus stood up. That's insane. I don't have that kind of money. Then you'll need to figure it out, the judge said. Court adjourned. The gavel struck. Marcus turned to Naomi, his face twisted with rage. You set me up. Naomi stood. She looked at him, not with anger but with something closer to pity. No, Marcus. You set yourself up. I just waited for you to finish. She walked out of the courtroom. Behind her, she could hear Marcus shouting, Brennan arguing and cameras flashing. But she didn't look back. Outside, Rachel was waiting. How'd it go? It's over, Naomi said. Rachel smiled. Good. Now what? Naomi looked out at the city. Now I built something real. 2 months later, Naomi launched the Voss Foundation, a $5 billion initiative focused on affordable housing, legal aid for low-income families, and financial literacy programs. She didn't hold a press conference. She didn't give interviews. She just did the work. Chelsea reached out once more months after the trial. I saw what you're doing with the foundation. It's incredible. I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted you to know I'm trying to do better too. I got a job. I'm in therapy. I'm learning who I am without him. Naomi read the message twice. Then she typed a response. Good. Keep going. It wasn't friendship, but it was acknowledgement. And sometimes that's enough. As for Marcus, the last Naomi heard, he was working as a sales associate at a mid-tier real estate firm in Ohio. His lawsuit had cost him everything, his reputation, his career, and any remaining credibility. Victor Brennan was disbarred. And Naomi Carter? She became exactly what her great-uncle believed she could be. Not because of the money, but because she understood that true power isn't about revenge. It's about resilience. 1 year after the trial, Naomi stood in the same office where Chelsea had walked in that night. Jonathan was with her reviewing a new acquisition. You've come a long way, he said. Naomi smiled. We're just getting started. She looked out at the skyline, the city lights stretching endlessly before her. Somewhere out there, people were still talking about the woman who inherited a fortune and lost nothing in the process. But Naomi wasn't thinking about them. She was thinking about the next project. The next family she could help. The next life she could change. Because in the end, the greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's creation. And Naomi Carter was just beginning to build. If this story inspired you, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales of justice, resilience, and the power of patience. What lesson did you take from Naomi's journey? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.